The AMS Flex Fuel Kit for the 2023 Nissan Z is in this box, so let's see what's in it. This is definitely a nice touch by AMS. They have whoever packaged it sign it and date it. That way it kind of feels a little more personal. So in here are the wire looms. This is the tap fuse, which you tap into the fuse box, zip ties, some decals. This will most likely be the bracket to hold this guy right here, which is the Continental E85 Flex Fuel sensor. This is pretty much universal. I think this one is the GM one. A lot of people use this type. You got the fittings and the fuel lines. I think this is gonna replace and tap into the main feed line coming out of the low pressure fuel pump into the high pressure fuel pump, which it's gonna be pretty nice. And of course, I think 2021 plus VR30s need to use canvas. So this is the module, that way it could translate whatever it needs to translate for Ecotech to read. This is definitely something that is required whenever you want to run E85 safely. You don't necessarily need this to get an E-tune. All you have to do is just get a low pressure fuel pump, high pressure fuel pump, and you can run all the E. However, you're not gonna know your reading unless you somehow do something like this and tie in this sensor with a Bluetooth sensor from like Fuelit in the system, and it could probably run you about 150 bucks to 200 bucks for you to do your own kit. Now, without the canvas, you're not gonna be able to read it onto Ecotech. So this is another $300 or so that you have to purchase if you want to run this. You can run E30 on the stock fuel system. You may get away with E40 if you put in a low pressure fuel pump, but do not take my word for it. Make sure you read your logs and see if you're leading out or not. But to play it safe, low pressure fuel pump, high pressure fuel pump, flex fuel kit, and you'll have no worries of your car ever blowing up because you have the wrong ethanol content in your system. I think this will be a pretty straightforward install, so let's go ahead and get to it. Wow, I can't believe this is gonna be the first video of me modding the car inside of the garage. And honestly, this is really my first mod that I'm gonna be installing on this car, other than the tune. All right, so first things first, you're gonna wanna lift up the car.